What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sperato. I hope you all are ready to chaz it up. Today I'm going to be covering one of the most requested deck profiles on my channel, and that is Ojama Armed Dragon. Obviously this archetype has its limits. It's not going to be the best way to play Armed Dragons, and it's not the most competitive deck in the world, but I try my best to make them as competitive as humanly possible, and I found a lot of success against certain meta decks, so this deck will definitely be able to catch some people off guard. And it's a ton of fun to play. So without further ado, let's get into the card by card. Ojamas are a very unique deck, to say the least, because they don't have any way to search for cards turn 1 unless you're setting Ojama Pajama, but of course that's just way too slow. So we're actually aiming to go second with this deck and utilizing the effect of Ojama Blue. So this is like the best play starter in the entire deck. So we are of course running triple copies of Ojama Blue, but that is not just it. We are also running triple copies of the adorable alternate art Rescue Cat. The reason we're running Rescue Cat is because you can just summon 2 blues off of Rescue Cat's effect, but ideally you just want to open Ojama Blue raw because it's like less vulnerable to interruption. So the way Ojama Blue searches for cards is he has to be destroyed by battle, and you can search for 2 Ojama cards. The effect is insane, but the way you get there is quite mediocre, so you literally have to normal summon him and then crash into your opponent's monster, search for 2 Ojama cards, and you actually combo off during the battle phase. So you're going to see in this profile we have a lot of ways of facilitating the going second playstyle and ensuring that Ojama Blue resolves with lots of extenders, board breakers, etc. And then Rescue Cat's just, you know, additional copies of Ojama Blue. But ironically, Rescue Cat's actually worse than Blue because he is a little bit more vulnerable to interruption, because if you imperm Blue or something it wouldn't work, but if you imperm a Rescue Cat it would work, so there's a bit of a difference between the 2 cards. We wouldn't be really chazzing it up if we weren't playing the original trio, so we are playing double copies of Ojama Black, double copies of Ojama Yellow, and double copies of Ojama Green. Believe it or not, these are probably the best cards in the deck. The deck wouldn't work without them. There's a really easy way to search all 3 brothers into your hand, and then a way to special summon them out of your hand. It's really easy to do, but you need to have one of each brother in the deck to resolve it, and it would be kind of like bad deck building to put these all at 1. Like, I get minimizing your chance to draw it, but if you literally draw 1 of the 3 cards, which is probably going to happen, then you're never going to resolve it. So you do have to run the 2 of each, and they're not even bricks in your hand if you draw them, because you can easily like extend with the other Ojamas, or the Ojama spells, or your extra deck can summon out normal monsters. So you definitely want to run 2 of each. 1 of each would be very incorrect, and 3 of each would just be a mess. We run 1 single copy of Ojama Red. You only need 1 copy for the combo because our main normal summon is Blue and Rescue Cat. You really don't want to rely on like playing 3 of these and opening this, because you have to open this with bricks, and it's just not that great of a card. It's very overrated amongst Ojama players, but it's still a really good card and important for a particular combo. So you know, just you need the 1. You don't need anything else. Running war would just be a complete brick fest. Onto my personal favorite part of the deck, the Armed Dragons. So Armed Dragons are in this deck because there is a card that can search out Armed Dragons and Ojamas, and it kind of ties them together. So you play a very minimalistic Armed Dragon engine because you can search them out really easily, and your entire deck's win condition isn't the Armed Dragons. They're just kind of there because they're free searchables. So you're playing double copies of Thunder level 3, double copies of Thunder level 5, and double copies of Thunder level 7, because you need to have 1 in your hand and 1 in the deck so you can summon and discard and keep replenishing your hand. So this is, you know, the bare minimum that you would run in an Armed Dragon engine, and the 2/2/2 is totally fine. You'll see your Armed Dragons all the time just because, like, again, you have the search spells, you have the Armed Dragon spells. It's very easy to get into this engine even with only 2 of each rather than the typical 3. For our Armed Dragon bosses, we have the Thunder level 10, my favorite Armed Dragon. This guy is crazy. You guys already know he discards 1 to pop 1 on the field, gains 1,000 during your opponent's turn, triggers an Armed Dragon search during your opponent's turn. He can't be destroyed by battle. You can't take control of him. You can get additional protection off Armed Dragon Lightning to make it so he can't be destroyed either. Card's fucking goated. I love him, and yeah, I'm not gonna go too far into this guy. I've covered him in a million deck profiles. So yeah, you run the 1 just to get that big interruption boss monster, but we do run a card that I normally don't run in my Armed Dragon decks, and that is the original Armed Dragon level 10. The reason I'm running this is because we don't have a battle phase, which means like level 10 white is completely useless. We're comboing off in the battle phase with Ojama blue. This guy's actually really easy to get into, so we're not using him with Armed Dragon Blitz because that wouldn't work. You'll lock yourself in the dragons. But the entire deck doesn't revolve around Thunder level 10 like the regular Armed Dragons do, so you have the luxury of just searching this guy out with your Armed Dragon, tributing it over the level 7 because his name changes to the original level 7, and then you can start discarding and popping your opponent's monsters. So this is like kind of like a mini access code that the deck has. It's really, really neat, and it just makes a lot of sense. You'll see what I mean when we talk about our other options for breaking our opponent's board, but I feel like I should have led off with that with this deck profile. You're trying to break the board and then establish your own, and you know that just kind of helps you get there because you can break the board, link it off, whatever. We're bringing back everyone's favorite package, not DPE, something worse. Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes Fusion. That's right, we're playing the Red Eyes Fusion package. We're making Dragoon in this deck. I decided to play this over the ABC engine because ABCs are just like, there's no synergy with the ABCs outside of Ojama Simulation. That means you would have to play like 6 cards that require setup. Or if you wanted to play the VWXYZ to get into your Catapult Cannon, that's like 16 cards. That might be an over-exaggeration, but it's quite damn near that amount. And like, I don't want to run that many bricks, so I only am playing these 3 bricks. I say like that's the only brick, like we're playing a deck full of vanilla monsters. The deck's gonna brick sometimes, okay? But this one actually boosts the consistency because a lot of the times you don't really have any other better plays than going into Verde Anaconda, making Dragoon. And it's also just like an easy, accessible way to, you know, foolproof our combos. If our combos get interrupted to hell and back, we can make Dragoon and then they lose. Or if we need to wipe our opponent's board and we don't have our Armed Dragon plays, we can make this, make Verde, and then pop our opponent's monsters, and then you have a big towers with a negate. And that's why I picked it over Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, because Phoenix Enforcer isn't really like a giant tower, and that's kind of what I was looking for, was like a big Omni negate that also wipes my opponent's board, and he only pops 1 card per turn. So we're trying to wipe our opponent's board, build our own, and this card, well, Dragoon in the Dragoon package helps you do exactly that, so that's why we're playing it. For the Ojama spells, we're running some of the dumbest searchers in the game. We have Oja Magic at 3 copies, because if this card gets sent to the graveyard from your hand or field, you get to search Ojama yellow, black, and green from deck to hand, and this is not once per turn. So if you don't draw any of the original brothers in your starting hand, well, guess what? You're gonna get 6 extra cards in your hand just for discarding this. It's so dumb. Really, really dumb card, honestly. Then we have 3 copies of Oja Match, equally as dumb card, because this is also not once per turn. It's a quick play, so we can use it a ton during the battle phase. Kind of fitting, considering the artwork is an Armed Dragon beating the living Christ out of Ojama Yellow. So I guess it makes sense that you use this during the battle phase. But it's just a quick play that lets you send an Ojama card from your hand or field to the graveyard to search for an Ojama with a different name in an Armed Dragon from your deck or graveyard. So this is literally Ojama's version of Nadir Servant. Also, immediately after it resolves, you get to normal summon one of the cards you add. So that can summon your red, that special summons out all of your Ojamas from your hand. I just realized I don't think I explained red when I got to him, but yeah, that's what he does. If you normal summon him, you special summon all of your Ojamas from your hand, and that's what this can do. It gets you into red, discard this, summon red, and then summon out a bunch of Ojamas. Or it can summon your Armed Dragon, so it's like an extra 3 copies of Armed Dragon Flash. It's just such a good card, not once per turn. And something really neat that you can do too with Oja Match is, let's say you have 2 and you activate one, ditch an Ojama card, your opponent ashes it, you can just chain the second one and send this to the graveyard and do it again. Like, it's so dumb. I can't emphasize, like, this is why you play Ojamas, is for the really broken, ridiculous spells, because the monsters sure as hell aren't doing a lot. So definitely playing the deck for the spells. The Armed Dragon spells we're running are pretty to the point. We're playing 3 copies of Flash because it's just E-Telly for Armed Dragons, and then 1 copy of Lightning for protection and recursion. The cool thing about Flash in this deck as well is this basically just gets you into a free Guard Dragon Pisty, so you don't have to use it to start your combo. You most certainly can, but it's just a godlike extender in this deck rather than just being a starter like it normally is for Armed Dragon. So That's all the Armed Dragon spells I'm running. I'm not doing anything more than that. If I haven't lost some viewers already with the Dragoon package, I'm definitely gonna lose some people now. I'm opting to play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet and 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. So yeah, you gotta play these cards. There's no budget alternative. I'm sorry. If you don't have Droplet, you're gonna lose a lot more with this deck. You need mass board negates. These are the best 2. These are the only 2 that do what they do. I guess you could try playing hand traps. I guess you could try playing kaijus, but at the end of the day, all it takes is 1 measly interruption to interrupt your Ojama Blue, and if you don't have the extender, you're screwed. So you really need those massive board breakers, and Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplet are perfect because your opponent can't respond to them. And if you draw this, and Ojama Blue, you literally can't lose unless you're playing it's like back row dot deck or something, right? Because you Dark Ruler and then you do your Ojama Blue combo, and then when they try and summon something like, I don't know, Winda during your turn, if something pops out at you and your Dark Ruler didn't hit that, then your Droplet can just be the second negate, and that's really amazing. Another cool thing about Droplet is it nullifies the damage you take with Ojama Blue as well, because it's going to cut the damage in half. There's a lot of synergy with Blue and Droplet and just this entire deck's end goal. I highly recommend, because I don't have a side deck built for this deck yet, but I highly recommend you play a ton of back row removal if you're actually trying to play this somewhat seriously, because back row decks absolutely destroy this deck, and these board breakers do nothing against traps, right? Now for the extra deck, I'm running a Zeus package, Sky Cavalry, Downerd Magician, Zeus. This is just get 2 Ojamas on the field. This thing can't be destroyed by battle. You go into Downerd, you go into Zeus, you have a 4-stack Zeus. It's pretty decent. You can do it with Rescue Cat. You can normal summon an Ojama, then use Ojamatch. It's pretty easy to get into Sky Cav. You could also run Fortune Tune if you can't afford Sky Cav. I know he's kind of expensive for no reason. And that way, instead of using the Ojamas to go into Zeus, you do Armed Dragon level 3 with another level 3. It just doesn't guarantee you a 4-stack Zeus where Sky Cavalry does. And I feel like you see more Ojamas than you see the Armed Dragon cards in this deck. As you guys already knew, we're running the Dragoon package. Package is broken. If you have to go first, you can at least like Dragoon and maybe level 10 pass. Going second, it's insanely broken because you get to blow up your opponent's entire board, and it's a negate, and it has like a million protection effects. It's way better than DPE and a going second deck. I think DPE is a way better monster and a way better package in general, but for this deck specifically, Dragoon just made way more sense, which is why I'm playing it. And of course, if you get interrupted too much, just make Verde, right? Double copies of Link Spider, so you can, you know, extend your Ojamas. You can link off your Ojama and then summon an Ojama. Or if you get into Beard, you can go into a Link Spider, summon an Ojama, make that into a second Link Spider, and then go into Verde Anaconda to make Dragoon. I know, it's disgusting, but yeah, it's just such a good card in this deck. I almost want to run 3 Link Spider, but the extra deck's kind of tight. 1 Guard Dragon Pisty for our Armed Dragons is very easy to summon level 7, and then tribute it for the original level 10, break the opponent's board, and then go into Flash, and then make Pisty, bring back the 7, discard 1, make a Thunder level 10, if that makes any sense. So you get the board breaker and the interruption for the next turn. Pretty nice. 1 copy of Seals, because we're playing a couple of extra deck dragons, and you need to get out of the Pisty lock since he locks you in the dragons. So sometimes you'll have him as a legitimate interruption, but I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks as an interruption in this deck because it's a mandatory effect to summon a dragon, and if you don't make Dragoon, you're summoning Red Eyes Black Dragon, okay? That's not very good, but this is just how you get out of the dragon lock, get rid of Pisty. We have IP Masquerena, one of the easiest interruptions to go into. Link summon during your opponent's turn. Love the alternate artwork, by the way. I even have the sleeves for her. She's gorgeous, dude. We have some Nightmares for removal, Nightmare Phoenix. We have Nightmare Unicorn. The best part about the Nightmares in this deck in particular is that we have access to Link Spider at all times, so you're actually going to always get their co-link effects to draw a card after you use their effect, so you'll never neg with these cards, and that's really awesome. In fact, if you can't afford Dragoon or something, you know, maybe consider like making a Trigate Wizard build. That could be really cool. I would definitely like to see it. I think it could work, but yeah, these are just really good cards in this deck specifically, even though they're just good cards in general. Now, you're not always going to be able to break the board with level 10. It's a little bit of a bitch to get into. And Dragoon, you're not always going to have enough life points to make them because you need to pay 2,000 and you're going second and crashing blue a million times. So sometimes you won't be able to get into those two. So your desperation play is to make an access code talker after going into your co-linked nightmares and just linking off in the access code, blowing up the board even more. You just won't be able to like swing for game with him unless you like protect him a little bit. So just keep that in mind. He's more for just like clearing the board. But even if you do end on Dragoon and you know your optimal board, you didn't need him to break the board, he's an easy like way to OTK the, well, not OTK because it's more than one turn, but it's an easy way to finish off the game. Just get a big attack monster on the field. One copy of Saryuja Skuldread. Skuldread's amazing in this deck and is a huge necessity to play because he's going to not only draw you a bunch of cards and then shuffle your bricks back like Red Eyes Fusion or maybe Armed Dragons that you want to save for like Armed Dragon Flash, but it lets you special summon cards from your hand. So this can get you into your Armed Dragon engine if Flash gets negated or you don't have time to use Ojama on an Armed Dragon. It's just a really nice extender and a way to just keep playing your combo. And it's also a dragon, so you can link this off and Pisty into a Heavenly Spheres into the extra monster zone, which is a pretty okay interruption. And lastly, we have Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, because what combo deck doesn't play this card? It protects you from the Biru, it FTKs certain decks, it's amazing. Alright, so this is a going second deck. Your combos and situations and stuff are going to vary depending on what kind of board you're facing, what kind of hand you drew, but the most important thing is just knowing the Ojama Blue loop. So all you need to do this is one copy of Ojama Blue, you need to go second, and you need to crash into an opponent's monster. So you're going to normal summon Ojama Blue, you're going to crash into the weakest monster possible, and then it's going to trigger his effect in the graveyard to search for 2 more Ojama cards. So you're going to search for Ojama and Ojamagic. You're still in the battle phase at this point, and you're just going to keep looping this basically. So you're going to activate Ojama during the battle phase, pitching the Ojamagic to search for another copy of Ojama Blue and a copy of Armed Dragon Thunder level 5. From here, you get to normal summon Ojama Blue on the resolution, and then afterwards, Ojamagic's going to trigger in the graveyard, and you're going to add a copy of Ojama Green, Black, and Yellow from deck to your hand. So there's our black, there's our yellow, and there's our green. Next, we're going to go ahead and attack with Ojama Blue once again, and we're going to search the same 2 cards. Now, if you drew any other Ojama Brother, you won't be able to resolve Ojamagic again because they need to be different cards in the deck. So if you drew another Ojama Brother, your combo's still fine. You might have slightly less cards in your hand, but for the most part, your combo is still live and you're going to be fine. And that's why I said just like memorize the loop. Don't memorize linear combos. You're going to change your end board depending on the situation at all times. No 2 duels are going to be like the same combo, right? It's all going to vary. So in this situation, we didn't draw anything because I'm just using Ojama Blue. So we're going to activate Ojama, pitching the Ojamagic again, and this time we're going to search for a second, or a third Ojama Blue, I think. Yeah, our third Ojama Blue. And we're actually going to search for our Armed Dragon level 10. So we're going to search those 2, and then on resolution, we're going to normal blue, and then Ojamagic is going to activate and add the Ojama Brothers again. So we're going to add black, yellow, green. And lastly, for the grand finale, we're going to attack with Ojama Blue once more, and we're going to search for another Ojama, and then whatever Ojama card you feel like, it can be anything. And then you're going to activate Ojama one more time, pitching whatever card you added, and searching for Ojama Red and Armed Dragon Thunder level 3. So we have a whole lot of cards in our hand. On resolution, we're going to normal summon Red, and Red is going to trigger its effect to summon a whole bunch of Ojamas from your hand. So I'm going to summon Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow, Ojama Black, and I guess another Ojama Green. So 4 Ojamas you just special summoned off of Ojama Red during the fucking battle phase. You're going to enter main phase 2, and from here, this is your canvas. You can do whatever you want. You can go into your nightmares, you can go into your access code, you can go into Saryuja, Appaloosa, depends on your hand. Like if you have Armed Dragon Flash, you don't need Saryuja to get your Armed Dragons out, but I wanted to show you guys the 1 card combo So I'm just going to show you some crazy shit that you can do. Not saying this combo is optimal, I'm just giving you a bunch of options of what you can do. So I'm going to start off by linking off the Ojama Black into a copy of Link Spider. And then we're going to use Link Spider's effect to summon Ojama Black. Since Ojama Black is no longer on the field, it's better to get the different names. And then I'm going to go into, you can go into your nightmares underneath the Link Spider to get the co-link effect to draw and remove some stuff on the field, but I just want to go straight into the point. We're going to link off all 4 of these into a copy of Saryuja Skulldread. Let me find him. There he is. You're going to use his effect, you're going to draw 4 cards, shuffle back 3, and then you can shuffle back your, Dragoon bricks. You don't want to have 2 copies of Thunder level 3 in your hand, that's bad, do what you gotta do. And from here you're going to use Saryuja's effect to special summon the Thunder level 3. Thunder level 3 is going to activate its effect to pitch the 5, summon out the 5 from the deck. So let's go ahead and do that. Summon out 5, effect of 5 to search for 7. You're going to use 5 to pitch 7 and go into 7. And 7's going to trigger, and you're going to search for a copy of Armed Dragon Flash. Now you're going to tribute your Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 to go into your Armed Dragon level 10. Now you can just start popping the field. I really like level 10 for when I Dark Ruler my opponent and maybe droplet them so they, already pretty much lost a game from there. I just had to remove the cards. So that's what level 10's good for. You have a bunch of cards in your hand. I just only, played with 1 card, but you obviously have 5 more additional cards in your hand, plus whatever you drew with Saryuja. So you have plenty to discard, and, sometimes you might need to get through like a Solomon Great Phalanx in the graveyard. I think that's the one that protects them from grave. I don't know, just a random example of destruction protection, so you can keep using his effect multiple times. And then from there, you can go into Armed Dragon Flash to special summon the last Armed Dragon Thunder level 3 from your deck. So that's going to special summon. And then you're going to link off the Thunder level 3 and go into Guard Dragon Pisty. Should have had this extra deck more organized, I swear. There you go. Guard Dragon Pisty. And you can now use Guard Dragon Pisty's effect because you have an arrow pointing here and an arrow pointing down here. So you can special summon the Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. And we're going to use the effect of 7, discard whatever monster in our hand to special summon the Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 from our deck. So he is from the deck. He was summoned through an Armed Dragon's effect, so he's going to get all of his protection, all of his interruption, and yeah, he's good to go. Now you're going to link these 2 to get out of the Dragon Lock into Hieratic Seals. And then it's kind of, again, up to you what you want to do. You can make an Appaloosa here, but what I would probably prefer to do, and what I think is the funniest, is to link this off into Link Spider, and then link these 2 off into Verde Anaconda. Pay 2k, feel great. That doesn't rhyme at all, but, it's still the saying. We're going to send Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and summon out the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, the guy that everyone hates. There he is, in the flesh. And yeah, and so you have probably still a couple cards in hand, I'd imagine, at this point. Again, we just started with 1 card in the hand to do a combo. You have a pop, you have a bounce, you have the negate, and you can pop next turn with level 10 to get rid of the scraps. Same with Dragoon, and then swing for game. So that's just like the craziest thing that you can probably do in this deck. Definitely not the most practical thing. You're probably going to go into Nightmares, and then go into Oppo to protect yourself, and then you can just go use Armed Dragon Flash that you drew or something to start going into your Armed Dragon engine. This is just like the craziest thing you can do, because this deck is all about just being wild, and I wanted to just show you the craziest combo. So again, do not try and memorize this combo, just kind of realize, like, use this combo as just a way to show you, like, what different types of plays you can do, if that makes any sense. Just don't memorize this one combo. Memorize, individual cards and figure out how the deck works and how to interact with certain boards. and, you know, come up with something yourself. Anyways, I figure this deck profile is confusing as hell, but I hope you guys enjoyed the wackiness that is CHAZZ's Armed Dragon Ojama deck featuring Red Eyes Dark Dragoon that he stole from, what was his name, Atticus Rhodes? Yeah, he stole this from Atticus, just so you know. It's lore accurate. There's nothing lore breaking about this deck. It's totally a roleplay deck. Okay, all jokes aside, deck is a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys requested it so much, and I finally gave in to peer pressure and made an Ojama Armed Dragon deck. As for how good this deck is, it can definitely catch a lot of combo and mid-range decks by surprise thanks to Dark Ruler and Droplet and all those going second good stuff. But it absolutely dies to back row. It can't really go first unless you draw a god hand of like Rescue Cat, Armed Dragon Flash, and an Armed Dragon to discard. So I wouldn't say this is a competitive deck, but I'm not going to say it's a bad deck. It's somewhere in the middle. It's fun. It can win. It can even win against meta, but it's just not consistent enough to be considered competitive. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I really do. I worked really hard on this, and I know you guys have been waiting for an Ojama Armed Dragon profile for a while now. So go ahead and make sure you smash the like button. Consider subscribing because I want to use the community tab. Please, for the love of God, give me the community tab. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.